is it easy for the political party that is sponsoring on which platform you emerge from to keep quiet in the affairs of the leadership, especially when the party is ruling?
I'm not asking, literally speaking, it's not for them to keep quiet. It's for them to respect the wish of the people at that level. Do you know what it takes to get to the Senate? That 109. You would have grown. You will be successful. You are knowledgeable. You are not a kid. So it will not be easy for somebody to sit outside and decide for you who you want to be your leader. And however, if you pick Saraki, Senator Saraki, Saraki has the experience. He has the intellect. He has the knowledge. He has the pedigree. His father was a wonderful Senate leader. So I don't see an APC should be proud to have such a man become their Senate president.
Even against their own wish.
Yes,
because their wish would, was...
It is the danger we have in this country is picking who the leaders want. Do you understand? Picking who they want. You should pick what is good for the country, not what the party wants. What is good, because at this time, we are talking about Nigeria. Your interest should be Nigeria. And those in that chambers represent the interests of Nigeria from their different constituencies.
When APC said treachery, that the emergence of Senator Saraki as the Senate president aligning with the PDP is treacherous. In that sense, do you see it that way?
I've been thinking about that word treachery. I think it's a rather strong word to use. You see, the politics of the National Assembly, the Senate, it's a game of width and number. Do you understand? So once you get inside that chambers, it's not a game of width.
I know you'll be very much interested in how that played out. On Tuesday, I know you would have kept a date with the television to see exactly how those things played.
Yes, I was in touch with my colleagues trying to know,
how it all played out.
What was that? But really, I'm not a member of APC, so I don't know what decisions they took at their caucus level. But what I'm saying is that what happens all the time. If people come at that level, at that height of politics, because once you get to that, it's like getting to the pinnacle of your political career. You will not sit down for somebody to come and say to you that, okay, I don't think this is the person, this is who I want.
Senator Ita-Giwa,
it's about who they want.
Let's benefit from your experience.
Yes.
You have advised the former president of the nation about the affairs of the National Assembly.
Yes.
You are also a very well-experienced lawmaker.
Yes.
You've been at both chambers of the House.
Absolutely, yes.
Tell us exactly. That situation that we saw where some APC senators or lawmakers were waiting for the president, and behind them, something was happening at the National Assembly. What could have played out from your mind, assuming you are a member of the APC, what could have played out at that time?
If you know that, I'm laughing. If you know that voting is going to take place in an independent arm of government inside the Senate chambers, then you go to the chambers. I'm going to give you a short case in point. When we got to the Senate, at some point we were going to vote again, and we had gone with a group on excursion sponsored by ELF to Paris. And when we got to Paris, we heard that there was going to be voting like day after tomorrow. And we saw ourselves, we looked at us numerically, and we saw that if our group, if we wander away, then we strengthen our numerical strength and weaken the opposition. So early in the morning, about 11, 12 of us strolled out of the hotel with our bags without our luggage to the airport so that the other party would not know that we are leaving. And we strolled to the airport and so on.
So that's the kind of thing that plays out in that sense.
Yes, because it's about numerical strength. You understand? Because at that time, you are completely... The most difficult politicians to handle are the
lawmakers.
The lawmakers. So because they have their mindset.
So the APC lawmaker, the 51 of them who are senators, who are at that meeting at the International Conference Center, they were at the wrong place at the wrong time.
I keep telling you that I'm not a member of APC. I don't know whether but if the president of the country sends you a message or, comes out to say that everybody must come, it is not out of order for you to go. From what I heard, there was no official message
From the president?
From the president, asking them to come. And even then, it would be dangerous for you to leave, because at the time of voting, it's a very, very dangerous moment. When I was advisor, the senators that I had with us, because even always in the ruling party, there's always division. But the senators that I'm sure that were with us, that would do things with me as advisor, I tell them that, gentlemen, there's no going to the bathroom, there's no going out to drink tea. You sit there.
If you blink, something might have happened.
Exactly, because it's a game of numbers, it's a game of wit.
So tell us, Senator.
So there is no way. I watch that thing like Indian film. You understand? There's no way you can sit outside and just say, you come here. For goodness sake, like you said, constitutional, they're in order. There's nothing that was out of order, through that voting of Saraki and Ekweremadu.
So tell us, from what is happening now, what we understand is that the president says he's not going to interfere in what has happened, and it looks so much like he didn't interfere.
For me, that is number one in my mind, because I always say the truth. My politics sometimes could be devoid of political party leanings. It is a plus for Buhari.
What has happened? The emergence of Senator Saraki?
No, because for him, number one, not to interfere. It's a plus for him. The emergence of Saraki and Ekweremadu from PDP and from the Igbo part of the country would help both of them work together with him. The PDP victory, the APC victory is good, but it's not a comfortable victory where a whole part of the country, do you understand, did not vote APC. And such, if I were in his shoes, I would try to make friends from that part of the country, because there will be another election. And if you are running the country, you need the country to be together. So you make sure that those from Southeast are all well integrated into your government.
Because one of the
so
questions...
So that unite, there's no other way to unite the country.
So Ekweremadu is a plus for the APC?
Absolutely.
For the Buhari government?
No, because they now see that it's an all-inclusive government.
Even with the fact that the person is not
within PDP, but at least that you have admitted a PDP. It's good. It's a misgrilled thing.
But can you trust an opposition having that kind of principal responsibility?
The policy, the way the legislature handles policy is a policy that is acceptable and useful to their constituencies. Do you understand? What the president has to do now is to try to be friends with the legislature. They have to establish strong cordiality between the two arms of government. And like I said the other day, any policy, you cannot, in a proper democratic dispensation, you don't make policies by pronouncements. At the embryoing stage of your policy, you have to call the leaders, members of National Assembly, to from day one, carry them along and tell them how this would impact on their constituency. So whether you like it or not, you have to be friends with them.
Let me play this scenario.
Otherwise, your bills will stay there for 1 year and will not come out.
Interesting. Let me play this scenario out. For example, if Senator Bukola Saraki, who is the Senate president, goes on, for example, an official assignment, or in fact, if he's on leave or something happens and he's not around, automatically, Senator Ekweremadu, the Deputy Senate President, is going to be in charge. That means to be having a PDP Deputy Senate President presiding over the affairs of the Senate. How do you think this will play out on the ego of the majority APC senators?
No, but normally, what happens in the Senate is that anytime the Senate President is not there, the Deputy Senate President, acts as the Senate President.
But we've not had an opposition being at the helm of affairs.
No, we have had in Cross River State and he worked.
I'm talking about the National Assembly now.
when I was in APP, you understand, I had APP's speaker in a PDP control state, and it worked. What are we saying? We are talking about Nigeria. We are not talking about APC. PDP. Now APC has won election. I think by right, APC should address the issue of Nigeria, not APC and PDP.
Interesting.
And I'm telling you that there's nothing you can do. The legislature is always run in a way that is totally devoid of political party leaning. There's nothing anybody can do about that. They come together and decide what they want for them. These people are talking about what is good for their constituency and what is good for Nigeria. Do you understand? And if you do that way, it's good. If you are their friends, then it's possible for you to win election again. But if you want to now start a fight, then you will not be able to run the country. Because the country cannot go without the National Assembly.
We'll benefit more on your experience. You've been part of the executive and, of course, and a part of the lawmaking process. We go on a short break, and when we return, could it be the beginning of an end for the APC or the beginning of resurgence for the PDP? We'll find out when we return. Join us again.